Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the We're Not From Hollywood podcast. I am your host, Faizel John Moment.
I'm Brandon Reines, and today our guest is Darrell Portz. He's one of the a very prolific actor in Edmonton. I've been working with him since basically my very first day doing this. So thanks for coming on the show, Darrell.
Thanks for having me, Brandon and Faisal. Great to see you.
So maybe start off. Tell us how you first got involved in acting.
Wow. I knew you were going to ask me this question. I'm going to go back in time. Probably 1999, I think was my first acting role. That was it was sta on stage. A friend of mine was doing Macbeth and had a fairly hefty cast to try and fill out, and asked me if I wanted to be a part of it. And I was skeptical. I didn't think I could get on stage. Didn't think that acting was my thing. But he talked me into it, and that was probably my first acting role. Uh, yeah, that was definitely it.
Can I ask you a weird question? How serious does everybody take the whole Macbeth superstition? Because I've seen it in movies and stuff, and obviously in movies everyone's like, "Oh my God, don't say it." But I've
Yeah.
never actually been in a
Fill
production
me in. I'm
that's
not sure
doing
what you're
Macbeth.
talking about. What's the superstition?
So actors believe that the play Macbeth is cursed. And so like you if you're going to be starring or like working on a production of Macbeth, you really shouldn't say the name of the play. You should always refer to it as the Scottish play. All sorts of like weird superstition around that play.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, I've always seen it in movies and stuff as like everybody takes it super serious and be like, "Oh, it's a Scottish play," but I don't know how much it actually translates into real life.
You
Daryl?
know, I'm not a superstitious person. I don't subscribe to any of that. I mean, I'll respect other people's
Of course.
desire of not wanting it said while we're in a theater. But me sitting here in the comfort of my own basement, I'm pretty comfortable saying Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
God, he's gonna appear.
So what's supposed to happen to you if you say the title?
You know what? I don't actually
I don't
know.
know either. Honestly, I don't even know why it's cursed. It's just, you ever hear that story about like you have 100 monkeys in a room and you put a chair in the middle of the room and a banana over the chair. And like if any of them tries to get to the chair to get to the banana, you shock the monkey. And then eventually you just replace one monkey, one old monkey with a new monkey. And the new monkey will try to go for the banana. The old monkeys stop it because they're afraid of the shock. And eventually you replace out all the new monkeys with all the old monkeys with new monkeys, and all of them are afraid of this banana hanging from the chair, but none of them know why. And I think that's kind of like Macbeth.
So what you're saying is that all actors are monkeys.
I mean, hey, listen, we could draw all sorts of parallels. Have you eaten with one? That's one of my favorite lines from the producers is like, are all actors animals? Well, hey, have you eaten with one?
Well,
Yes. Yeah.
so Daryl, if I remember correctly, the very first time we worked together, you were in the first episode of Mental Case. You played the boss. It's been so long I can barely remember what happened in there, but I think that was when I met you, right?
The first show that we did, the first film that I worked on with you was it Mental Case?
Pretty sure because that was the first one I did. Like I didn't do anything. Like I did things before that, but it was like like a decade before.
Yeah,
So I
yeah, it
did.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mental Case.
And then you were
What
back
was mental
for I'm
case
in Love with a
exactly?
Dead Girl.
What was mental case? Because I've only ever heard the name. I don't think I've ever actually seen the
That
actual
was
movie.
I made it with Afton Rentz and Morgan Yamada. It was they were both like fight choreographers and like stunt people, and they wanted something where they would just have an excuse to fight. So we kind of came up with this idea that Afton played a character called Elia Verk, who is a very strange young woman, and basically she just has a reason and she always gets into fights. So every episode she gets into this epic fight with someone, and they would we would choreograph these fights. We made three episodes. The first two, I was like the DP, my own DP, and they were very low budget. For the third one, we actually raised a bit of money, and Chase Axton shot it, and
Hmm.
looked much nicer. We just made the three. It was just when I was starting out, so it wasn't exactly the best thing I've made, but we had to start somewhere. We just had to start, rent a
Everyone
video
does.
camera, and make something. I had to meet some actors and meet some crew to get going. And yeah, and I met Darrell through there, and I met Tom Anthony. I met there. The few people that I'm still working with today, I met on Mental Case, so it was a great way to get started. And after now, she's working on all these big movies and big TV shows, and she's living in Toronto, so she's really done something for herself.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun, you know what, you say it was low budget, but hey, it was fun. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one of the things that we're lucky with doing films here in Edmonton. I think we for the most part, you can't go onto a set and not know some of the crew, not know
Some of the cast.
most of the crew, most
Yeah.
of the actors, right? I mean, we all run into each other all over the place, and so um, it's it's always like a little bit of a homecoming.
It's also like comforting to a certain degree. And I've even I mean, obviously I'm not as out there as you are, Daryl, but like I've been to Calgary to shoot a couple of projects here and there, and like I'll always be nervous stepping onto set, and then I'll step onto set and I'll notice just one person that I'm like, hey, I know you too. And suddenly all that nervousness is gone because I have a person that I can like relate to and we can chat, and it makes it easier.
It does. It does. A lot can be said for I think the performance of an actor when they are the most comfortable on set with everything that's going on around them. I think the more comfortable you are, the better performance that you will actually have.
Agreed. And Brandon, I have to kind of give this to you a little bit. I have to say exclusively, the most fun I have on sets are on your sets. Like
Oh, thank you.
it's usually a funner, more relaxed set because you work with the same people over and over again, and you do have like this camaraderie and this like networking that builds.
Yeah, I'm always very aware of that because, I mean, not only for the actors, like Daryl said, but for everyone. It's hard to work like these big Hollywood movies where it's super tense and there's like abusive people on set and every like it's like how could you work in that environment where everyone's yelling at you and just all this horrible toxic stuff going on? That not only does that make a horrible work environment, but how do you perform when you're just under that kind of pressure? Like why would you want to go to work every day when that's how you deal with things. And it's not even going to make a better movie. Like I could see if
No,
the movie be better, but it's if you're just nice to everyone and everyone's having fun, the movie's going to be equally as good. So why not just make it the best experience? So I'm always aware that everyone should be comfortable there, like everyone should be treated with respect. And it does come down to the director a lot of the times. If people look to the director and he's just yelling at people and being a dickhead, all of a sudden everyone's like, "Hey, I can be like that too." Whereas if
that's
they
allowed
look to
behavior then.
yeah, if
Yeah.
they see that like, okay, the people in charge are acting very professionally and everything, and they're friendly, it's going to lead to just better performances and a better time for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I can contrast two films. I'm not going to say which ones they are, but two fairly large films that I worked on in recent time. And on one, it was very tense on set. There was infighting, there was arguments and between cast and crew and production, and then I
I
work
think
on
we're
another
talking about
film.
we're
What's
thinking the
that?
same. I think we're thinking the same movie, Daryl. I assume we were both on the same one, I
Yeah,
believe.
we all
Could
know what you're
very
talking
well
about.
be, but I don't want to use this as
No,
a
of
forum to
course, no, no,
slag
no. But
anyone. So
I got a little connection there. I think I know what you're talking about. But
okay.
yeah, please go ahead.
But and even though I personally wasn't involved in very much of it, it still had a big effect overall
It's
on just
it sits
how
on
like
set.
yeah, exactly. And then I work with virtually the same crew and most of the same, well, maybe not most of the same actors, but a number of the same actors on another film. And it was probably one of the best experiences that I've had with a production. Like I looked forward every day to showing up on set and like just giving it 110%. And I think if filmmakers, if the people who are let's call it production. If production is making it a good experience for cast, for crew, I think that you're going to end up with a better product at the end of the day. And that's ultimately what it is, right? That's the goal.
Exactly.
Agree. It has to like yeah, it all comes from the top down. And if like everybody at the top is just kind of like neglecting their duties, I'm gonna say, and like letting all that filter down, then once you step onto set as a crew member or as a cast, you can feel that tension and like that doesn't lend itself to good directing. It doesn't lend itself to good acting because that tension comes across in your performance or in your direction. Like if I'm mad and I'm trying to tell an actor like, "Hey, I liked your performance, but could you do it a little differently?" But I'm like undercurrent mad, then like I'm basically yelling at my actor and not making him comfortable. Like it's people don't realize like I understand that a film needs to be made under a set amount of time and we're all under a lot of pressure to hit a deadline. But like yeah, that extra pressure doesn't lead to a good film.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, I think we can all, recall experiences where you've just showed up on set and it's like
Absolutely.
this is like just walking in there and just seeing the looks on people's faces and knowing that, ooh, this is a bad day or this is a good day, right?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, those good days, man, do they ever make up for the bad days? Because like one good day is enough for 10 bad days,
yeah.
realistically.
Yeah, the last film I worked on, I remember walking in and going down to Video Village, and I was there early, and I'm sitting around, and everybody's just glued to the monitors, and people are crying, and I'm like, oh shoot, this is a scene that happens after my scene that I'm shooting next. I can't watch this because it'll just throw my entire performance off, right? But everybody is just engaged. Everybody is engaged in the process, so.
And that's when you know you're making a good film, when like even during the making of it, everybody's engaged in the process. Because like if it's just a whatever film, you can tell you while you're reading the script, while you're shooting it, it's whatever. But like if it's something special, everybody's gonna be like, what happens next? What's going on?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, what I mean, I'll throw out kudos to that production. The project was called My Name Was Peter, right? And I was very happy to be a part of that production. My role was one that was a little bit on a challenging side for so most people don't know, but I played Heinrich Himmler from the head of the Nazi SS.
I have to say, you
Um,
had a very like intimidating presence on set because I was on set for a couple of days on that. I think you were on those same days or so. But yeah, when you walked past, like I know you, but I didn't even want to go say hello to you because I was just like, oh, I'm gonna stay back from him for a little bit.
You probably saw me those times just before I had to get ready for my takes because I remember when I think it was the first day shooting and and I sat down with the director and the first AD and I said, look, I don't want to wear this Nazi uniform
Mhm, 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 mhm.
before we shoot, right? Like I don't want to be walking around. I don't want people taking photos with me. I don't want like this to be out there because I'm playing a role.
But
I'm playing someone who, is not a good person, but that's the life of an actor that, you represent these characters. But yeah, I personally didn't want to be associated with it, and I didn't want my downtime to be associated with it. So
you want to protect yourself from imbibing more of this character than you need because like as an actor you're like your job is to soak up this person and kind of like internalize this person and keep it inside, and depending on the role like you can't stay in that uniform 24/7 because you're like you're soaking in that energy, you're soaking in all those that thing, and like yeah, it's hard to live with that. It'll drive you crazy.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I mean, I loved it. It was, the actors on that production were fantastic. I mean, and the crew, right from the right from the the screenwriter who was on set to the director to everybody that they brought in, and there was a lot of people brought in from Vancouver and from Calgary, from the U.S. Yeah, so I was very happy to have been given that opportunity to be in that production. So.
Have you ever worked behind the camera, or are you mostly an in front of the camera guy?
Oh yeah, no, I've worked behind the camera a little bit. I've put together a few shorts over the years. During the latter or during the pandemic, I wrote a film noir called What the Heart Wants, and we shot that in I think it was October of 2021 and sent it out to some film festivals. Got some pretty good feedback. We won a few, placed in several of them. Yeah, and it's just and I would love to do more, but ultimately it does come down to time and money, as we all know.
Oh yeah. Those two foes you must defeat, time and money.
That's it. That's it.
Well, and you're also quite a prolific stage actor too, right, Daryl?
Yeah, well, I mean that's where I started was in stage, and I mean I worked on stage uh for probably well until I moved down to Edmonton in 2008, and so in Yellowknife that's where I started acting. They say on stage. I did I did a couple of commercials while I was there, and I did one feature film while I was there, and then it, and then when I came down to Edmonton, I went right back to stage, and then probably I would say maybe around let's see, 2000. Geez, I could probably look at my IMDb and it'll tell me when I started doing uh, more film. But I think it was probably around 2014-ish, something like that, is when I started doing film. But and then drifted away from stage, and just I found you don't have all of these long rehearsals,
Oh my
these
God.
long
Stage
rehearsal periods.
rehearsals are crazy.
Yeah, and so from a time perspective, it's great to get your script for film and learn your character, learn the lines, go and shoot it, and then when you're done that day of shooting, you don't have to worry about those lines anymore, other than intention and and character arcs, making sure since we shoot out of order that you remember what you did, but. Yeah, there's that whole different dynamic from film acting than there is to stage, and recently I've gone back to stage, mostly for the Edmonton International Fringe Festival.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant. We'll
so
have to talk before the show ends on which fringe plays you're at and where people can see you.
yeah, I have we're just actually tonight's our first rehearsal for our show coming up at this Fringe. So and we did one last year called The Naked Lady, which was a lot of fun. And so yeah, if I'm not on stage or in front of the camera, I try and do little bits behind the camera. I was a stunt coordinator for a film that I think was done 2 years ago or a year ago. I've done a little bit of writing, nothing like Brandon. I can't compare myself there. But
Very few of us can.
yeah, and with stage, I'm also a sound designer, so I spend a fair amount of time doing either just sound or also AV elements.
Do you like
Find
I
that.
find,
Oh,
oh, go ahead, Brandon.
I was gonna say, do you find that like a lot of people, especially like in the Edmonton community, it's not big enough to do one thing. You kind of have to be a stage actor, but also a film actor and do other things. And but it seems like a lot of, do you just find that there's not enough work that you have to do everything, or do you just love kind of having a hand in all the different pots?
I like having a hand in all of the pots. I think that no matter what you do in the arts, whether it's on stage or whether it's in film that the more you know about what everybody else does, the easier it is for you to do your job, right? If I know what the cinematographer, the DP is doing, if I know what the what all of what the sound person is doing, if I understand their job, then it helps me do my job better and hopefully helps me facilitate them having doing their job better. If that makes sense. I don't
Yeah.
want to make it sound like, I'm the reason why you do something good, but I want to be a positive catalyst towards other people
No,
being able to do their jobs.
for example, if you hear that the camera is going to be on you at a close up and then it's going to track out and pan left to the next person, you want to be aware of what those terms mean so that your performance can then like make it easier for them to like again zoom in on you, zoom out, track. You can't just be like running over here if like they're going to be tracking you. You need to like or like if they're going to be doing a slow track, you need to like run slow or what have you. So yeah, being aware of what everything's happening around you makes it so that your performance can be catered towards this medium.
Yeah, exactly. Especially too for film when it comes to editing. If I have
Mhm.
a good a concept of how an editor is going to take that footage and put it all together, from the various takes that we're doing, then if I understand that concept, then my performance will hopefully be, better in the sense that I'm going to be doing the same things at the same time, right? And that the continuity is going to track, and it gives them more options when it comes to the editing process to be able to say, okay, I'm going to take this take for this and this take here, and then hopefully my performance is going to line up for them.
I agree. I had to learn this as a director, but like I would yell cut when the scene would end, imagining that the actor would stay in the scene and then the camera would be able to stop and then I'd have something to edit with. But I found that as soon as I yelled cut, an actor would drop out of the scene entirely. And so like I'd have to edit from when I would yell cut or what have you. So like and that it doesn't sometimes you find that if you just keep that character going just a few more seconds after, you have this beautiful way you can cut it where you can like arc one into another. But like so many actors are just not to criticize or anything, but sometimes it's like I'm here for the job. Once you yell action, I'll do it. Once you yell cut, I'm out of here. I'm done. Disengage. And
Yeah.
like sometimes it doesn't lend itself to a good film.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the starting and stopping nature of film has actors drop in and out of character.
Yes.
Right? It's not like on stage where, the curtain goes up and you are your character and your arc follows that linear path in the eyes of the audience, and
You are the
you
character to the audience.
that's exactly it, right? In film, we started on scene 82 today, and then we're doing scene one. I think, just to go back to My Name Was Peter. I think the one of the first scenes I shot was one of the last scenes. The last scene I shot was one of the first scenes. So, it's just the
It's
way,
so
just the
you
way it
got to know
works.
your character and be able to compartmentalize those things.
Yeah, yeah. It was a bit of a learning curve to go from stage to film for sure because of that.
Do you have a preference, one over the other, or do you like them both for different reasons?
Wow, I like them both for different reasons. So it's really tough to say which one I prefer. I mean, I think that from an ego perspective, stage is more. I prefer stage because I think and I'll tell this little story. So I produced the turn of the screw at the Edmonton
Hmm.
Fringe
Mhm.
back. I think it was 2017, something like that. I think 2017.
Wow,
Um, first,
that's
my
an
first,
amazing play.
yeah. Did you see that art production?
I did not see your
Okay.
production, no, but
So
I've seen the turning of the screw, or I've read the book, but like,
yeah.
oh, is it ever fun?
Yeah. And so the it had been a while since I had been on stage, and and I was nervous because 75 minutes, and there's only two actors. I'm playing
So
five
many lines to
characters.
remember.
That's it, right? Five characters, four accents. And it's like from start to finish, there's just the two of us. And it's great when you have a fantastic actor to work opposite in a situation like that. At the end of every performance, and you're getting the audience feedback, and you get the audience feedback during those performances, that I think to myself, this is why you act, right? Like that's it. So from that ego standpoint of of giving everything in the moment to an audience, and the audience giving that same energy back to you, is just it's something that you can't get in film,
The
right?
the way I've heard it described is like you're throwing a ball back and forth between you and the audience, and that ball just gets bigger and bigger as it goes back and forth, where like, yeah, you're just like shooting this energy and then they're shooting it back at you and it just kind of reinvigorates you, but then you got to double down on it. Like,
That's it. That's it. And when we're in film, we don't have the audience.
no.
We have we have silent observers, which is the crew, and you have the other actors that you are playing opposite. And so, I think that in that sense, you're the distractions of I don't want to say an audience is a distraction in live, because it isn't, right? It's a give and take of energy. But I think that when you're on set, there becomes a more intimate interaction between you and the person who you are interacting with, that can lend itself to a really authentic performance. That's not to say it doesn't happen on stage, because it certainly does.
But I agree with you. It's and that's why I think it's the classic thing of like stage acting is big. It's over here because it's you, the act, your co-actors, and the audience. Whereas film acting, it's very small, very like because it's you and your crew member, your cast member. Like
Yeah.
there's no audience involved. You're not trying to invoke that. You're trying to get this person.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
always imagine
exactly.
it'd be very difficult, like say you're doing a comedy on stage and you have hundreds of people in the audience, they're all roaring with laughter. And then you do the same performance in a comedy in a film and it's dead silence. So you perform this funny thing and it's just, crickets, which it has to be. It's supposed to be quiet on set. Yeah, the energy would be different. It's like, is this funny? Would people laugh at this? Like you don't have
Oh
that
my
immediate
God.
feedback from the audience.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how many times have we shot, a comedic film, and you watch it back and you laugh to yourself and you go, I hope other people are going to laugh, because you don't know. You
Yeah.
don't know how
You
other
spent
people are
so much
going to
time with
respond.
it, behind it and around it. What fringe plays can people see you at, Daryl?
I'm doing one this year. It is called Mr. Tilly's Seance. And we'll be. I think we're at we're at a BYOV, so at the Sugar Swing upstairs. That's where we performed last year. And we have a really fun cast. It's pretty much the same people that were in our show last year in Naked Lady. Um, uh, Liz Grierson, myself. We have Nicole DeVoe, Justin DeVoe. Oh man. See, now I'm going to forget people. Okay. Elizabeth Johansson, Ian Horban, and then Anita Bourgeois is directing. Her husband Scott, he wrote this play. It's based on a short story from the 1930s. Um, and we have Ken Matthews as our tech. And so yeah, pretty much the exact same cast of characters. I'll call us characters, because we all sort of move around. I'm doing the sound design, and so like it is for a fringe show, everybody does everything. And basically, what it is, without giving too much away, it's a group of folks who have uh, a séance party once a week, where they all get together and have a séance in the 1920s. And one of their members dies the day of the séance. And so it's a pretty funny little comedy about what transpires as a result.
It makes me think of Death Becomes Her. Is that the it's kind of similar vein?
Even- I'm not going to give away
All
too
right, Brandon,
much.
we're gonna have to go and see this play and review it.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
you should. I think you'll find that pretty much all of us are on stage the whole time. We'll have a few jokes. My character is a character by the name of Sir John. Think of him as like the Major from Faulty Towers.
Ah,
So
I see.
I'll grow the beard out a little bit more of a handlebar mustache, and we'll see if we can embody that character
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
as deeply as I can.
awesome. So thanks for being on the show, Daryl. It's great to see you again, and hopefully, I hope your stage show goes very well.
Yeah, I hope so too. And thanks very much for asking me to come on and shoot the breeze with the two of you. It's been a while since
Yeah,
we've been in the same room together. So other than the last film that you shot, Grotesque 2, I think that was the last time I was on one of
yeah,
yours.
yeah. Last time I saw you.
One of the
Yeah,
funnest sets I've been in to date, I will say.
I think that was the last time I saw you too on set,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, definitely. I think so.
All right, well, see everyone next time. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back. Bye.
We'll be back.